Have you ever walked into a room and instantly felt like a ghost? Like you're there, but you're not really there. You listen to a conversation, you try to join in, but the words get stuck in your throat. Your palms start to sweat, and you just retreat. Or maybe you felt that deep frustration when you try to explain something important, but the person you're talking to just doesn't get it. They nod, they smile, but their eyes are a million miles away. It feels like you're speaking a language no one else understands. This isn't just a bad day, it's a fundamental disconnect. A disconnect that costs you opportunities, drains your relationships, and leaves you feeling isolated even when surrounded by people. You have so much to offer, so many ideas, so much love to give, but there's a secret wall between you and the rest of the world. What if I told you that wall isn't real? It's a trick of the mind, and you have the power to tear it down. Imagine a life where every conversation is an effortless dance, where you walk into any room, not with anxiety, but with calm confidence, where you can connect with anyone, communicate with clarity, and lead with a quiet power that people are naturally drawn to. This isn't about changing who you are. It's about unlocking a hidden superpower that's been inside you all along. This is the key to mastering your emotional world and upgrading your social skills. The two most critical skills you were never taught in school. The secret isn't in what you say, but in how you feel and how you read others. This video is your guide to a new level of connection, confidence, and personal power. So let's start the journey now. Introduction: the unseen battle. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever walked into a room and instantly felt the energy shift? Maybe someone was silently upset, and no one had to say a word. You just knew. Or maybe you've met someone who seemed to have this effortless ability to connect, communicate, and make everyone around them feel comfortable and heard. What is it that makes these people different? It's not just talent, good looks, or even intelligence in the traditional sense. It's emotional intelligence. And combined with sharp social skills, it's a superpower. The real secret to success in today's world? Having a high IQ or being book smart simply isn't enough. The people who rise to the top, whether in their careers, relationships, or personal happiness, have something more. They know how to manage their own emotions. They know how to read others. They can connect with people on a deeper level. They're calm under pressure, adaptable, and emotionally resilient. That's what this video is all about. Mastering emotional intelligence and social skills so you can unlock your full potential and thrive in every area of life. What you will learn in the chapters ahead. You're going to discover the practical, science-backed tools that emotionally intelligent people use every day, often without realizing it. But here's the best part. These are learnable skills. You don't have to be born with them. You can develop and master them with the right mindset and daily habits. The journey ahead, your secret weapon. Here's a quick preview of what you're about to dive into. We'll start by breaking down what emotional intelligence really means. Not just the buzzwords, but the core elements that drive it. Then, we'll explore the science behind it, why your brain reacts the way it does in emotional situations, and how to train it to work for you, not against you. You'll learn how to recognize your emotions, manage them in real time, and build genuine empathy for others. We'll decode body language and social cues so you can walk into any room with confidence. You'll discover how to speak in a way that makes people want to listen, and how to listen in a way that makes others feel truly heard. We'll cover social confidence, building deeper relationships, navigating tough conversations, and even how to use these skills in your career or business. By the end, you won't just understand emotional intelligence, you'll live it. Why this matters more than ever. Let's face it, our world is more connected than ever. Yet people feel lonelier, more misunderstood, and more emotionally overwhelmed than at any other point in history. Why? Because technology might connect us, but emotional intelligence is what binds us. It's what allows us to build trust, resolve conflicts, and create meaningful relationships, whether that's in a Zoom meeting or a face-to-face conversation. In a noisy world, Being emotionally intelligent is like being fluent in a language most people have forgotten how to speak. Before we dive in, I want to be clear. This isn't some dry academic lecture filled with theory and fluff. This is real, raw, and applicable. Every strategy you'll hear is something you can start practicing today. No matter where you're starting from, whether you're shy, socially anxious, emotionally reactive, or just curious, this video will meet you where you are and take you step by step toward real transformation. And on that part 2, the science of your social superpower, let's get scientific, but keep it simple. Before we dive into the how-to of mastering emotional intelligence, we need to answer a big question. What exactly is emotional intelligence? And how does it really work in your brain and body? Don't worry, we're not going to get lost in technical jargon or brain scans, but it's important to understand the science behind emotional intelligence because once you know what's happening inside you, chemically, neurologically, and psychologically, it becomes easier to take control of your reactions and reshape how you think, feel, and act. So, let's break it down. What is emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence, often called EQ or emotional quotient, is your ability to recognize, understand, manage, and influence your emotions and the emotions of others. It's made up of 5 core components. Self-awareness, knowing what you're feeling and why. Self-regulation, managing your emotions in healthy ways. Motivation, using emotions to fuel positive actions. Empathy, understanding the feelings of others. Social skills, navigating relationships and interactions effectively. Your internal GPS. Think of EQ as your internal GPS. It helps you navigate tough conversations, make smart decisions under pressure, and build relationships that actually work. And here's the cool part. EQ isn't fixed. Unlike your IQ, which tends to stay relatively stable throughout your life, your emotional intelligence can grow as much as you're willing to work on it. Let's get into your brain for a moment. Inside your head is a small but powerful part called the limbic system, and it's the emotional command center of your body. This system includes structures like the amygdala, which is like your emotional alarm system, and the hippocampus, which helps store emotional memories. When something happens around you, someone cuts you off in traffic, your boss criticizes you, or a friend gives you a compliment, your brain's first response comes from the amygdala. It asks, is this a threat or a reward? If it senses danger or emotional stress, it triggers the classic fight, flight, or freeze response. Your heart races, your palms sweat, your breathing changes. This is your biology in action, getting you ready to react. But here's where emotional intelligence comes in. The prefrontal cortex, the thinking, rational part of your brain, can step in and help you respond instead of just react. EQ is the ability to pause, evaluate the situation, and choose how you respond. The amygdala hijack. That's the difference between snapping at someone and taking a breath. Between sending that angry text or thinking twice. Between letting fear hold you back or channeling it into courage. Have you ever lost your temper and thought, that wasn't me? I don't know what came over me. That's called an amygdala hijack. When your emotional brain overrides your rational brain, it happens in a split second. Your amygdala sounds the alarm before your prefrontal cortex has time to process. In that moment, your body is flooded with stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol, preparing you to react rather than think. But here's the good news. You can train your brain to pause, reflect, and rewire your automatic responses. Through mindfulness, breathing techniques, and the self-awareness exercises we'll cover later, you can give your rational brain the space it needs to step in before the emotional storm hits. That's the science behind emotional regulation, and it's one of the most powerful EQ skills you can build. Mirror neurons and the link to success. Let's talk about empathy, which is another pillar of emotional intelligence. Have you ever yawned after seeing someone else yawn? Or felt emotional Watching someone cry, even in a movie? That's the work of mirror neurons, specialized cells in your brain that help you understand and feel what others are experiencing. They create an internal simulation of someone else's emotion. When your EQ is high, these mirror neurons are especially active. You become more attuned to subtle cues like changes in someone's tone, body language, or facial expression. It's not magic, it's neurology. Now, let's get practical. Why does emotional intelligence matter in real life? Studies have shown that EQ is a stronger predictor of long-term success than IQ. People with high EQ earn more, are more likely to be promoted and trusted in leadership roles, build stronger relationships, and enjoy higher life satisfaction. In one famous study by Daniel Goleman, it was found that up to 90% of the difference between top performers and average ones in leadership roles came down to EQ, not IQ. This applies in relationships, too. People with high EQs are better at resolving conflicts, expressing love, and supporting those around them. Emotions are data. Here's one more powerful concept to remember. Emotions are not the enemy. They're data. They're signals that tell you what's happening beneath the surface. Anxiety might be telling you that something important is at stake. Anger could be revealing a boundary that's been crossed. Sadness might be inviting you to reflect or release something. When you view emotions as information instead of problems, you can learn from them instead of fearing or suppressing them. That's what emotional intelligence teaches us: to decode the message behind the emotion and to respond with wisdom instead of impulse. Practice. The emotional audit. Let's end this chapter with a simple but powerful exercise. Over the next 24 hours, do an emotional audit. Here's how. Every few hours, pause and ask yourself, what emotion am I feeling right now? What might have triggered it? How is my body reacting? Tense shoulders, racing heart, etc. What do I want to do about this emotion? What would be a thoughtful response instead? Keep a journal or use a notes app on your phone. Just 1 or 2 sentences per check-in is enough. This practice builds the bridge between your emotional and rational brain. It helps you start noticing patterns, and it gives you the space to choose how you respond, instead of letting emotions control the show. Until Down is Part 3, The Art of Knowing Yourself, the foundation of power. Let's get straight to the point. You can't control what you don't recognize. And when it comes to emotions, self-awareness is the key that unlocks everything. Think of emotional intelligence like a house. If that's true, then self-awareness is the foundation. Without it, everything else, emotional control, empathy, social skills, starts to crack and collapse. What is self-awareness? Self-awareness is your ability to observe your own thoughts, emotions, and behaviors in real time. It's like being able to zoom out and watch yourself from the outside. Here's the big shift. Instead of being trapped inside the emotion, you notice it. You name it. You ask, what am I feeling right now? And why? Sounds simple. It is. But it's not always easy, especially in moments of stress, anger, or emotional overload. The power of the pause. Let's be honest. Most people are emotionally reactive. They're like leaves in the wind, tossed around by every feeling without understanding where those feelings come from. Why? Because nobody ever taught us to slow down and ask deeper questions. We were told, don't cry. Stop being angry. Just get over it. But here's what emotionally intelligent people do differently. They ask themselves, what is this emotion trying to tell me? That one question can change your entire life. One of the most powerful tools in emotional intelligence is labeling your emotions. It may sound basic, but studies show that just naming what you're feeling reduces the intensity of that emotion. This is called affect labeling, and it's backed by neuroscience. Instead of saying, I feel bad, try, I feel disappointed. Instead of, I'm just stressed, say, I feel overwhelmed because I'm afraid I won't meet this deadline. Instead of, I'm mad, say, I feel frustrated because my boundaries were ignored. The more specific your emotional vocabulary, the more clarity you gain. And with clarity comes control. Your hidden triggers. Everyone has emotional triggers, things that instantly set off strong reactions. It could be being ignored, feeling disrespected, being interrupted, feeling judged or misunderstood, being compared to someone else. These aren't random. They usually tie back to past experiences, core beliefs, or unmet emotional needs. Self-awareness means identifying your personal triggers so you're not blindsided by them. Next time you feel an intense emotional reaction, ask, what just happened? What did it make me believe about myself? Where have I felt this before? This gives you the chance to break free from autopilot reactions and choose a different response. Your body often knows how you feel before your mind catches up. Tight shoulders, shallow breathing, a racing heart, clenched fists. These are signs your body is processing something. When you learn to tune into your physical sensations, you get access to your emotions early, before they boil over. Journaling for self-awareness. One of the best ways to build emotional self-awareness is through daily journaling. No, it doesn't have to be pages and pages. Just a few minutes a day can shift your mindset and mood. Try this journal prompt. What emotion did I feel most strongly today? What triggered it? How did I respond? What would I do differently next time? Over time, journaling reveals patterns, emotional loops, recurring triggers, and how your responses evolve. It's like having a mirror for your inner world. Your emotions are not just about what happens to you, but how you interpret what happens. For example, someone cancels on you. You feel rejected. The story, they don't care about me. You make a mistake at work. You feel anxious. The story, I'm not good enough. Emotionally intelligent people challenge those stories. They ask, is this story true? Is there another way to see this? Am I taking this personally when it might not be about me? This mental shift from reaction to reflection is what separates high EQ individuals from the rest. Your daily practice. Here's a practical tool you can use daily, an emotional check-in. Once or twice a day, pause and ask, what am I feeling right now? What triggered this emotion? How is it affecting my thoughts and actions? What do I need right now? Comfort? Clarity? Movement? Silence? You can do this in the car, on a walk, or during a break at work. These micro moments of reflection build the habit of emotional awareness without overwhelm. The difference between regret and wisdom is one thing, the pause. Before sending that angry message, before saying something you'll regret, before reacting, just pause. Take one breath. Give your brain a second to catch up. Ask yourself, what emotion am I feeling right now? And what would my highest self do next? That one pause can save relationships, careers, and your own peace of mind. Self-awareness isn't about perfection. It's about attention. It's about tuning in instead of tuning out. It's about listening to your emotional signals and decoding what they're trying to say. It's about being honest with yourself. Not judgmental, just honest. The more you practice self-awareness, the more empowered you become. You stop being a prisoner of your emotions and start becoming the master of them. And on that competent Part 4, controlling the inner storm. Emotions are energy. Life happens. Emotions happen. Now, here's the truth. Everyone gets emotional. Even the calmest, most grounded person you know has bad days, feels triggered, or gets overwhelmed. The difference between those who fall apart and those who stay in control isn't whether or not they feel emotions, it's how they handle those emotions. This chapter is about just that, managing your emotions when life gets messy. Because let's be real, it's easy to be emotionally intelligent when everything's going well. The real test is when someone cuts you off in traffic, your partner says something hurtful, or you get that sinking feeling of anxiety before a big moment. That's when emotional mastery counts most. Let's start with a powerful perspective. Emotions are energy in motion. They move through your body. They rise and fall like waves. They are meant to be felt, acknowledged, and then released. But here's what most people do. They suppress emotions, or they explode with emotions, or they try to escape emotions through food, social media, or distractions. Thermostat versus thermometer. Managing emotions isn't about ignoring or controlling them like a robot. It's about feeling them fully, but not letting them control your actions. You can feel anger without yelling. You can feel sadness without shutting down. You can feel anxiety and still show up and do the thing anyway. Here's a mental model to help you. Imagine a thermometer. It just reacts to whatever's happening in the environment. If it's hot, it goes up. If it's cold, it drops. No control, just reaction. Now imagine a thermostat. It senses the temperature, but then sets the tone. It regulates the environment. It takes responsibility for the atmosphere. Most people are emotional thermometers. They reflect the energy around them, but emotionally intelligent people are thermostats. They feel what's happening and then choose how they want to respond. Which one are you becoming? The 3-step formula. Step 1. Name the emotion. This is always the first step. Why? Because you can't manage what you don't name. Let's say you're in a meeting and someone cuts you off mid-sentence. Your chest tightens, your jaw clenches, you feel a rush of heat. What do? You pause and mentally name it. I'm feeling disrespected. I'm feeling frustrated. This small moment creates space between you and the emotion. And in that space, you get your power back. Step 2. Breathe to reset. This may sound cliché, but it works. Your breath is your remote control for your nervous system. When emotions spike, your body goes into fight or flight. Heart races, muscles tense, vision narrows. But deep, intentional breathing tells your brain, we're okay. You're safe. Try this simple breathing pattern. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds. Repeat 3 to 5 times. This calms the amygdala, your emotional alarm system, and reactivates the rational brain. It's not magic, it's biology. Step 3. Ask better questions. Your brain is always answering questions, even when you're not aware of them. Low EQ people ask, why does this always happen to me? What's wrong with me? Why are people so difficult? High EQ people ask, what am I feeling and what triggered it? What's really going on here beneath the surface? How can I respond in a way I'll be proud of? When you ask better questions, you get better answers and better actions. Response versus reaction. This is the moment that defines emotional maturity. A reaction is automatic. It's your survival brain lashing out or shutting down. A response is thoughtful. It comes from clarity and strength. Let's go back to the meeting example. You were cut off. You're frustrated. You've taken a breath and asked yourself, what's really going on? Now you get to respond. That might look like staying calm and bringing your point back up with confidence, addressing the interruption later in private, or letting it go if it wasn't worth the energy. The key is, you chose, not your ego, not your emotion. The 90-second rule. Did you know that most emotional reactions last only 90 seconds unless you feed them? That's right. According to neuroscientist Dr. Jill Bolte Taylor, when an emotion is triggered, there's a 90-second chemical process in the body. After that, it's up to us to keep replaying the story or to let it pass. So, next time you feel anger, sadness, or anxiety rising, remind yourself, this will pass. I just need to ride the wave. Take the 90 seconds, breathe, stay still, don't react yet. That's emotional self-control in action. Real-life scenarios. Let's apply this to a few situations. You're stuck in traffic, running late. Old you. Freaks out, curses, feels helpless. New you. Notices the stress, breathes, accepts what's out of your control, uses the time to listen to a podcast or reflect. Your friend cancels plans last minute. Old you feels rejected, assumes they don't care. New you feels disappointed but asks for clarification and chooses to respond with kindness or set a boundary if needed. You make a mistake at work. Old you panics, feels like a failure. New you acknowledges the mistake, feels the sting, but reminds yourself that mistakes are part of growth and takes action to fix it. This is how emotional strength is built, moment by moment. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be present. Managing your emotions isn't about suppressing them. It's about owning them. When you learn to ride the wave of emotion without being swept away, you become unshakable. You stay calm in chaos. You think clearly under pressure. You respond from wisdom, not impulse. And the best part? Every challenge becomes a training ground. According to the basis S's, and on that kappa to create codings, it has been going to thing for the art. I've apologized. Part 5. The empathy engine. The secret ingredient. Let's be honest. Everyone wants to feel seen, heard, and understood. Whether it's your partner, a friend, a coworker, or even a stranger on the street, the deepest human craving is connection. And the secret ingredient? Empathy. Empathy is more than just being nice. It's the ability to step into someone else's emotional shoes, to feel what they're feeling without losing yourself in the process. In a world full of distractions, misunderstandings, and surface-level interactions, empathy is what turns relationships from transactional to transformational. It's important to understand its two main forms. Emotional empathy, feeling with someone. When your friend is grieving and you feel that lump in your throat, that's emotional empathy. It's immediate, it's visceral. It's like your heart is tuned to theirs. Cognitive empathy, understanding someone's perspective. You might not feel their emotion, but you get it. You see where they're coming from, even if you disagree. This is especially useful in conflict or professional settings. The best communicators blend both. They feel with you and they understand you. Empathy versus sympathy. There's a big difference. Let's clear this up once and for all. Sympathy is when you say, I feel bad for you. Empathy says, I feel this with you. Sympathy stands at a distance. It's pity. Empathy moves closer. It's connection. Imagine a friend has just lost a job. Sympathy says, oh, that sucks. Hope it works out. Empathy says, that must be really hard. I know how scary that uncertainty can feel. I'm here with you. See the difference? One creates distance. The other builds trust. The 3-step empathy formula. If you want a simple way to practice empathy in real conversations, here it is. 1. Listen to understand, not respond. This means you're not thinking about your reply. You're not judging. You're not interrupting. You're fully present. Eye contact, nods, silence when needed. 2. Name what you notice. That sounds frustrating. You seem really overwhelmed. I hear a lot of sadness in what you're saying. 3. Validate the emotion. It makes sense you'd feel that way. Anyone in your shoes would be feeling that too. You're not crazy for feeling this. It's human. Validation doesn't mean agreement. It means acknowledgement, and acknowledgement is healing. Common blocks and the power of vulnerability. Let's be real. Sometimes empathy is hard. Here are a few things that get in the way. Judgment. Why are they overreacting? Comparison. That's nothing compared to what I've been through. Advice giving. Here's what you should do. Before they even finish talking. Distraction. Checking your phone mid-conversation. Emotional overload. Feeling too much and shutting down. Awareness is the first step. Once you know your empathy blockers, you can catch them in the moment and choose a better way. Remember parts 2 and 3? They weren't just about you. They were training grounds for empathy. Because when you understand and manage your own emotions, You're much better equipped to hold space for someone else's. Emotionally unaware people struggle with empathy. Why? Because they can't tell where their feelings end and the other person's begin. Or they get uncomfortable and want to fix it too fast. Empathy isn't about fixing. It's about feeling with and sitting beside. Empathy in action. Let's walk through a few everyday moments and how empathy can shift everything. Example 1. Your partner comes home stressed and snaps at you. Old reaction, why are you taking this out on me? Empathic response, you seem really stressed. Want to talk about it or just need space? Example 2. A friend cancels plans last minute for the third time. Old reaction, wow, you're so flaky. Empathic response, hey, I'm feeling a little let down. Is everything okay on your end? Example 3. A coworker messes up a project and blames others. Old reaction, what a coward. Empathic response, it looks like you're feeling pressured. Want to brainstorm how to fix this together? Notice what changed. Empathy softens conflict. It opens doors. It builds bridges. When empathy feels draining. Yes, empathy can be exhausting. If you don't have boundaries. You're not meant to carry everyone's pain. You're meant to connect with it, not absorb it. If you find yourself overwhelmed, set limits. It's okay to say, I want to support you, but I need a short break to recharge. Detach with love. You can care deeply and still protect your peace. Refill your own emotional tank through rest, nature, movement, or silence. Empathy is a gift, but it starts with giving some to yourself first. Empathy is the skill that makes you unforgettable. It turns average listeners into trusted friends. It turns surface relationships into deep bonds. And it turns good leaders into great ones. When you practice empathy, you're telling people, you matter. Your pain is valid. You're not alone. That one simple message, it can heal relationships. It can change lives. And sometimes, it can even save them. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be present. And on that to part 6, decoding people's hidden language, why social skills are a superpower. Here's the deal. You could be brilliant. You could have the best ideas. But if you can't connect with people, read a room, sense the vibe, and respond appropriately, your growth will stall. In personal life, in professional life, everywhere. Social skills are emotional intelligence in action. They're the tools that help you build trust, navigate relationships, and avoid awkward missteps. And it all starts with understanding one thing. Most communication is nonverbal. That's right. What you say is only a small part of the message. How you say it, and how you read what others aren't saying, is what really counts. This chapter will show you how to read social cues like a pro, so you can show up with confidence, connection, and clarity in any situation. What are social cues? Social cues are the silent signals we send through body language, facial expressions, tone of voice, posture, timing, and more. They help us answer questions like, is this person comfortable or uncomfortable? Are they open to talking or not? Did my comment land well, or do I need to shift the tone? Are we connecting, or is something off? Mastering social cues is like learning to speak a second language, a language without words. The big 5 social cues. Let's break down the main categories of social signals. 1. Facial expressions. The face is a mirror of emotion. Even micro-expressions, those split-second flashes of emotion, reveal the truth. Raised eyebrows, surprise, or skepticism. Smiling with eyes, genuine warmth. Tight lips or clenched jaw, tension or stress. Frowning brow, confusion or concern. Pro tip, watch the eyes. They often tell the story more than the mouth does. 2. Body language. The way someone holds themselves says a lot. Open posture signals confidence or receptivity. Crossed arms signals defensiveness or discomfort. Leaning in signals interest. Turning away or stepping back signals disinterest or a desire to escape. Notice posture shifts. They often signal changing emotional states. Third, tone of voice. It's not just what you say, it's how you say it. A soft tone can signal calm or submission. A sharp tone can feel like a threat. Fast talking might indicate anxiety. A warm, even tone builds trust. Tip: listen to tone changes mid-conversation. That's where hidden emotions often surface. 4. Timing and turn-taking. Social rhythm matters. Is the person interrupting or waiting their turn? Are they speaking too long without noticing others? Are they giving others a chance to respond? People with strong social skills know when to speak, when to pause, and when to let silence do the work. 5. Personal space. Everyone has an invisible bubble, and invading it sends strong signals. Too close, threatening or overly intense. Too far, disinterest or coldness. Just right, comfort and mutual respect. Cultural norms vary, so be observant and adjust accordingly. How to read the room. Here's a quick method to instantly assess a social environment. The VIBE scan. V. Visuals. What are people's body language and facial expressions saying? I. Intensity. Is the energy calm, tense, upbeat, or awkward? B. Behavior. Are people engaged, distracted, comfortable? E. Energy. Is the group dynamic positive or negative? You don't have to get it perfect. Just pay attention. Social awareness isn't about being psychic. It's about being present. Common social missteps and how to avoid them. Even smart, well-meaning people sometimes miss social cues. Here are a few examples. Talking too much about yourself. Fix. Ask more questions. Balance the airtime. Missing signs of boredom or discomfort. Fix. Watch for fidgeting, looking away, or short answers. Being too intense, too fast. Fix. Let connection build. Don't trauma dump or overshare immediately. Ignoring group dynamics. Fix. Read the room before making bold moves. Not adapting your tone or energy. Fix. Mirror the other person's vibe, then lead with your best self. Remember, social skills are not about being perfect. They're about being aware and adaptable. Practice. Become an emotion detective. Ready to level up your social reading skills? Try these strategies. Play emotion detective. In conversations, silently guess what the other person is feeling. Then, check your accuracy by asking questions like, "You seem unsure. Am I picking that up right?" Watch people in public. Observe body language and interactions at cafes, parks, or events. What patterns do you see? What energy is being exchanged? Subtly mirror. If someone is calm and reserved, match that energy. If they're warm and enthusiastic, reflect it back. Just don't overdo it. It has to feel natural. Ask for feedback from trusted friends or mentors. Ask, "How do I come across in conversations?" Be open. This is gold. Social skill growth stories. Lana used to interrupt people constantly. She didn't mean to. She was just excited. After learning about turn-taking and observing group dynamics, she slowed down, became a better listener, and now people seek her out for conversations. Mike often made jokes at the wrong time and never understood why people pulled away. After learning to read facial expressions and energy shifts, he became more tactful and his relationships deepened. You can grow too. It just takes practice, observation, and intention. And on that top, Part 7, The Master Communicator's Blueprint, the Art of Connection. Think about this. Every relationship you have, personal, professional, or even with yourself, depends on one thing: communication. When it's clear, respectful, and emotionally intelligent, things flow. When it's confusing, reactive, or unclear, conflict, distance, and frustration show up. Here's the truth. Communication is not just about talking. It's about connecting. This chapter will show you how to become the kind of communicator who doesn't just get heard, but actually understood. Someone who brings calm, clarity, and connection into every conversation. Effective communication has three major components. 1. Clarity. You're saying what you mean without confusion or fluff. 2. Tone. Your emotional energy matches your message. 3. Timing. You're delivering your words at the right moment, not just dumping them on people. If you can align all three, you become magnetic. People want to talk to you because it feels easy and safe. The 4 pillars of great communication. Let's dive into 4 essential pillars that will improve the way you communicate in any situation. 1. Listening first, talking second. This is where most people go wrong. They're focused on their response, not the other person's message. Active listening means giving your full attention. Yes, that means putting down your phone. Nodding or giving verbal cues like, I see, go on, or that makes sense, reflecting back what you heard. So what you're saying is, and here's a powerful truth. People don't open up when they feel heard, they open up when they feel understood. 2. Choosing your words wisely. Words are powerful. They can calm a storm or start one, build trust or break it, open hearts or shut them down. Here's how to use words that connect. Use I statements instead of blame. I felt left out instead of you ignored me. Avoid absolutes. Words like always and never create defensiveness. You always forget versus I noticed you forgot this time. Be direct and kind. Truth without empathy feels harsh. Empathy without truth feels vague. You need both. 3. Mastering tone and body language. Remember, how you say it often matters more than what you say. Your words might say, I'm fine, but your tone, crossed arms, and distant eyes say, I'm definitely not fine. Align your nonverbal communication with your message. Keep your tone warm and steady. Maintain appropriate eye contact. Open your posture. No folded arms. People don't just listen with their ears. They listen with their emotions. 4. Knowing when to speak and when not to. Some conversations need courage. Others need quiet. Ask yourself, is this the right moment for this message? Is the other person emotionally available to hear it? Am I speaking to be helpful or just to be heard? Sometimes the most powerful communication is silence with presence. Communication styles. There are 4 basic communication styles. Understanding yours and others can change everything. Passive. Avoids conflict, struggles to express needs, often says yes when they mean no. Hidden belief. My needs don't matter. Aggressive. Dominates conversations, interrupts, criticizes, or controls. Uses tone to intimidate. Hidden belief. Only my needs matter. Passive-aggressive. Appears agreeable but expresses anger indirectly. Sarcasm, backhanded comments, silent treatment. Hidden belief. I won't say it, but I'll make you feel it. Assertive. Honest, direct, and respectful. Speaks clearly about needs and boundaries. Listens with empathy. Healthy belief. My needs matter, and so do yours. Your goal? Move toward assertive communication. That's where connection and confidence live. Handling difficult conversations. Let's face it, some conversations are hard, but with the right tools, they don't have to become hurtful. Here's a proven formula you can use. The CARE framework. C. Calm down first. Never communicate in the heat of emotional chaos. Acknowledge the emotion. I know this is uncomfortable, and I really want to talk it through. R. Respect their perspective. I see how this impacted you, even if I experienced it differently. E. Express your truth clearly. Here's what I felt and what I'd love going forward. This method helps people feel safe even when the topic is hard. Communication traps. Let's go over a few common mistakes that sabotage good communication. Interrupting. It sends the message, what I have to say is more important than what you're saying. Fixing too soon. Sometimes people don't want solutions. They want to feel heard first. Assuming instead of asking. Ask for clarification before drawing conclusions. Using sarcasm or jokes to deflect. Humor is great, but not when it hides real emotions. Avoiding hard conversations. What you avoid grows, what you face heals. Here's a toolbox of micro habits that make a major impact. Use names. Pause before replying. Watch for nonverbal shifts. Say, "Tell me more." End with appreciation. "Thanks for sharing that." Or, "I'm glad we talked." Goes a long way. Communication is not about winning. It's not about talking more or louder or smarter. It's about creating understanding and trust. It's about learning to speak with people, not at them. And here's the beautiful part. The better you get at communication, the less often you'll need to have hard conversations. Because the daily flow of clear, kind communication builds stronger, healthier relationships from the start. And on that topic of Part 8, EQ at Work, your career's secret weapon. Beyond the skill set. Let's be honest, most people don't leave jobs. They leave toxic environments, poor managers, and daily stress that could have been avoided with a little emotional intelligence. Workplaces aren't just about skill and performance. They're human ecosystems, deadlines, meetings, personalities, pressure. It's emotional terrain. That's where emotional intelligence becomes a game changer. It affects how you handle feedback, how you navigate conflict, how you build trust, and how others perceive your leadership potential. In this chapter, you'll learn how to use emotional intelligence to not just survive the workplace, but thrive in it. The 5 pillars at work. Let's break it down into 5 core areas: self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. Each one plays a specific role in your professional life. Let's explore each with examples. 1. Self-awareness. Know your triggers. Imagine you're in a team meeting. Someone shoots down your idea. You feel heat rise in your chest. Maybe a little anger, maybe embarrassment. Without self-awareness, you might lash out or shut down. With self-awareness, you recognize, this feedback stings a little, but maybe it's not personal. Let me stay curious. Self-awareness means noticing your emotional reactions without letting them hijack your behavior. Try this at work. Pause before replying to emotional emails. Journal a few lines after stressful meetings. Awareness is the first step to control. 2. Self-regulation. Stay cool under pressure. Let's face it, work can be frustrating. Missed deadlines, poor communication, office politics. Self-regulation doesn't mean bottling up your emotions. It means responding instead of reacting. People with high self-regulation stay calm when others panic. Think before they speak, and handle setbacks without blaming. Try this practice. Use deep breathing before emotionally loaded conversations. Take a short walk or break instead of reacting in the heat of the moment. Calm is a superpower in chaotic environments. Motivation and empathy. 3. Motivation. Go beyond the paycheck. Highly emotionally intelligent people are self-motivated. They're not just working for promotions. They find purpose in the process. They ask, how can I improve today? What impact does my work create? They also bounce back from failure faster. They see setbacks as feedback, not defeat. Try this. Set personal growth goals, not just performance ones. Find one thing each week that excites you about your role. Work becomes more fulfilling when you connect it to something deeper than deadlines. 4. Empathy. Understand before you judge. In the workplace, empathy means understanding your coworkers' stress, respecting different communication styles, and listening to frustrations without jumping to conclusions. It doesn't mean agreeing with everything. It means seeking to understand first. Try this. In a tense conversation, ask, "What's behind this person's behavior?" When giving feedback, consider their perspective. When someone seems off, ask, "Hey, everything all right?" Empathy builds trust, and trust builds great teams. Social skills and leading with EQ. 5. Social skills. Collaborate like a pro. Emotional intelligence shines in how you connect with others. Great social skills at work include active listening, clear, respectful communication, conflict resolution, team building, and being approachable and open. Try this. Give people credit publicly. Ask teammates how they prefer to communicate. Be direct but kind when addressing issues. Use names and eye contact. It builds rapport fast. The best professionals aren't just good at tasks, they're good with people. Applying EQ in common workplace scenarios. Scenario 1. Receiving criticism. Without EQ, you feel attacked and shut down. With EQ, you breathe, listen, and ask for specifics. You say, "Thanks for the feedback. What would success look like in your eyes?" Scenario 2. Team conflict. Without EQ, you take sides or avoid it. With EQ, you mediate calmly, validate both sides, and look for common ground. Scenario 3. Office gossip. Without EQ, you join in. With EQ, you steer the conversation towards solutions or excuse yourself politely. Leading with emotional intelligence. If you're in a leadership role, EQ is your edge. Emotionally intelligent leaders inspire rather than intimidate. They listen to concerns without ego and recognize effort. People don't just follow titles. They follow trust, presence, and empathy. Has on that POC of that trio. Part 9. Advanced social strategies for success beyond the basics. You've learned the basics: empathy, communication, emotional regulation. Now, it's time to go deeper. This chapter is for those who want more than just being good with people. This is for those who want to influence, inspire, and lead in every room they walk into. Advanced social strategies aren't manipulative. They're about becoming the kind of person who creates meaningful impact by connecting, understanding, and elevating others. You'll learn the art of subtle persuasion, how to read a room, charisma triggers, strategic vulnerability, and how to handle power dynamics with grace. Let's unlock next-level human connection. The art of subtle persuasion. Persuasion isn't about pressure. It's about alignment. Influential people don't force decisions. They guide them. They understand psychology, timing, and emotional tone. Here are 3 powerful persuasion tools. 1. Mirror and match. Subtly mirror the body language, tone, and pace of the person you're speaking to. It signals, "I'm like you," which builds trust fast. People trust what feels familiar. 2. Lead with shared goals. Instead of saying, "Here's what I want," say, "Here's how we can both win." People resist when they feel pushed, but move forward when they feel aligned. 3. Use story, not just logic. Facts tell. Stories sell. If you want to persuade, use vivid examples, personal experiences, and emotional anchors. "I know how that feels. Last year, I was stuck too," is more powerful than a list of bullet points. Charisma triggers. Charisma isn't luck. It's a learned blend of 3 things. 1. Presence. Full attention, no distractions, no rushing. 2. Power. Quiet confidence. Owning your value. 3. warmth. Openness, kindness, empathy. High charisma equals high presence plus high warmth plus high power. Here's how to activate it. Put your phone away when talking to someone. Speak slower and with intention. Smile with your eyes, not just your mouth. Compliment people on qualities, not just looks. When you combine these, you become unforgettable. Strategic vulnerability. Want to build fast, real connection? Share before you shine. People connect through struggles, not just success. I used to struggle with that too. I felt nervous the first time I tried that. Here's a mistake I made that taught me a lot. This doesn't mean oversharing. It means letting people see the human behind the skill set. Vulnerability breeds trust, and trust is the foundation of influence. The power of listening. Most people listen to reply. Leaders listen to understand. Want to be powerful in any conversation? Try this. Ask open-ended questions. What's been on your mind lately? Don't interrupt. Let silence do its work. Reflect what you heard. It sounds like you're feeling overwhelmed because you care about doing this right. Deep listening is a superpower. It makes people feel seen, and that makes you magnetic. Social adaptability. Being socially adaptable doesn't mean faking it. It means knowing how to show up differently for different people and environments. It's the emotional equivalent of knowing when to wear a suit and when to wear sneakers. Adapt to tone of voice, speed of conversation, formality level, and humor style. But never compromise your core values. Adapt your style, not your integrity. Think of it like speaking different dialects of the same language. You're still you, just more fluent. Practice your advanced social challenge this week. Try one challenge per day. Mirror someone's tone. Scan a room and guess the emotional temperature. Give a thoughtful compliment. Share one authentic story. Elevate someone who's usually overlooked. Or ask a deep, open-ended question. Social mastery isn't about being loud, dominant, or always on. It's about making people feel seen, heard, and inspired to be better around you. That's the real mark of influence. You don't have to be born charismatic. You just have to care, learn, and practice. Every interaction is a chance to level up your impact. I'm on that pocket at part 10. Conclusion and key takeaways. You've completed the journey. You made it. If you're hearing this, you've just completed a journey. Most people only talk about starting. You didn't just listen to words, you invested in yourself. Let's pause and take a deep breath. Because what you've just done isn't small. You've learned to understand your own emotions. You've gained tools to connect with others at a deeper level. You've stepped into the next version of yourself, one that's wiser, calmer, and more socially empowered. Now, let's wrap everything up and make sure you walk away with the most important lessons that you can apply for life. The core truth. Emotional intelligence is a skill, not a trait. If you remember nothing else, remember this. It's something you build, like a muscle, like a language, like leadership. It grows every time you choose to pause instead of react. Listen instead of speak. Ask instead of assume. Own your feelings instead of blaming others. Lead with empathy instead of ego. You're not just learning how to cope with life. You're learning how to master it. Key lessons. Let's revisit the main takeaways. The science. EQ is a superpower built on self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. The foundation. Self-awareness is the key. You can't change what you don't notice. The storm. Emotions are signals, not orders. You can ride the wave without being swept away. The engine. Empathy is the connection. It turns surface relationships into deep bonds. The blueprint. Communication is about connecting, not just talking. The superpower. Social skills are emotional intelligence in action. The workplace. EQ is your leadership advantage. The mastery. Influence is about alignment, not pressure. Your new normal. What success really looks like. Success isn't just about achievements. It's about how you feel while you achieve them. It's not about having more friends. It's about having better relationships. It's not about never getting angry. It's about understanding where that anger comes from. Mastering emotional intelligence doesn't mean you'll never struggle again. It means you'll struggle better, with more resilience, more awareness, and more wisdom. That's real growth. Your ongoing practice plan. Daily check-ins. Ask, what am I feeling? Why? How can I respond better today? Weekly reflection. Write about a social interaction that challenged or inspired you. Monthly challenge. Pick one EQ skill to focus on each month, like active listening or managing stress. Revisit this audiobook in a year. You'll hear it differently because you'll be different. Your power is in the pause. To the future you. Imagine yourself 6 months from now. Calmer under pressure, more connected in your relationships, a better communicator, someone others admire, trust, and respect. That future is built one emotional choice at a time. You've already started the path. Now, keep walking it. One final note, your power is in the pause. In the end, emotional intelligence is this: the power to pause, to feel deeply without being ruled by your feelings, to lead with heart without losing your edge, to be human and still grow every day. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be present. Thank you for listening. You're not just changing your life, you're changing how you show up for the people around you. And that changes the world.